Hi, I'm Soraya, a curator here at the California State Library. Over the past few years, the library has been engaged in digital preservation. One aspect of digital preservation is that it allows us to make the collections more accessible and downloadable to patrons through our online catalog. Currently, we are digitizing our World War I manuscript collections. These collections consist of letters, diaries, and postcards written by men from California who served in the military during World War I. These letters describe basic training, the hardships of war, and often express a longing for home. In addition to digitizing the original documents, we are also working on transcribing them. Because the handwriting is often difficult to read, transcribing them will make them more accessible, easier to read, and searchable. The transcripts are done through crowdsourcing online. Once completed, these files will be added to the online catalog where patrons can download them and read first-hand accounts of these men's experiences during World War I. In honor of Veterans Day, the State Librarian, Greg Lucas, will read a couple of these letters.
I'm State Librarian Greg Lucas, and I'd like to share a letter from Phillip Embry. Phillip Embry letter from Thursday, June 27th, 1918. Bauer with Faustinow in the machine with him had a close call. They were taxiing across the field when a plane that was landing smashed into them. If Bauer had been a foot farther along when the other plane hit him, he would have surely been killed by the propeller. Both planes were badly smashed. It was a close call for all concerned. This evening, some of the boys saw a plane fall from about 100 meters. They had a roll call on the field to see who it was. My monitor happened to be down getting gas, and I had gone into the barracks for a minute, so we were picked for the unfortunate ones. It happened that they slipped up on their roll call, and Squires with Hughes as a pupil were the ones that fell. I went out to see the wreck, and the plane hit nose first. The engine was buried in the ground. The whole plane was nothing but kindling wood. Hughes died soon after they got him out of the wreck, and Squires died shortly after they got him to the hospital. Hughes was a mighty nice boy. I was talking with him just before he went up. Hughes is the first one of our crowd to go. I wonder how many more. No one seems to be able to account for the accident. There were 14 machines smashed today. Seems to me there must be something wrong somewhere. Henry Eckhart was born and raised in San Francisco. He was drafted in the U.S. Army in 1917 and served with the 162nd Infantry in France as a machine gunner. While stationed in France, Eckhart kept up a correspondence with his sweetheart Marie. Once discharged, Eckhart and Marie married and lived the rest of their lives in San Francisco, where he worked as a fireman. July 28, 1918. Dearest Marie, I just received your letters of June 12 and 28. I certainly was happy to hear that you're well and enjoying life. This is the first opportunity I've had to write you for nearly a month. During the last month, I've been through some hard and trying times, especially the last few days. I've been over the top about 6 times in 4 days, and we sure had the Boche on the run. It's been an exciting and dangerous experience, but I come through it all safe. I passed through heavy shell and machine gun fire and also gas attacks. It seems like a miracle to me how I ever got through it all. I was knocked into a creek by one shell and sure got a good bath. Other times I was knocked over and a piece of shrapnel cut my coat and bruised my side a little. Otherwise I pulled through without a scratch, which I consider lucky. There were many air fights with lots of excitement. There were quite a number of prisoners taken, as you will probably see by the papers. I'm writing this letter in my billet deluxe in back of the lines. We're on our way somewhere for a rest, and then I suppose we'll go at it again. It sure is hard work lugging a machine gun around, and we all feel all in after it's over. I just received a letter from Otto, and he's over here. He wants me to transfer to his company, but I don't know if that's possible. I'm going to see what I can do about it. I've been doing a great deal of traveling and see a lot of France, but hardly stay in one place long enough to get acquainted. It's a very beautiful country, and there are many interesting sights and works of art, but it's sunny California for me every time. Here's a letter from Walter S. Lingard, who was a lifelong resident of Berkeley. He served with the 18th Engineers from 1917 to 1919. The 18th was one of the first units sent to France after the U.S. entered the war. They built docks, warehouses, and storage yards in Bordeaux and assisted with a variety of other construction projects. After being discharged in 1919, Lingard returned to Berkeley and became a painting contractor. There's a July 5th, 1917 letter from Walter S. Lingard to his mother from somewhere in America. Well, Ma, we're camped on the shore of another beautiful lake. I can't tell you where it is or how long we expect to stay here. After 3 days in a cramped train, this sure is fine. When we got off, we pitched tents and all went in swimming. I sure was dirty from the traveling, and after I took a good bath and a swim, I felt like a new man. This country here is fine. Just as we went to eat, a thunder and lightning storm started, and we stood in the rain eating. It doesn't rain here, it just drops a whole lake on top of you at one time. But everyone took it good-naturedly and laughed and joked, even if they were wet to the skin. It saved us one job. We didn't have to wash our mess kits at all. All we had to do was to hold them out in the rain, and in half a minute, they were clean. It was funny, though, to watch some of the tents go up in the air. Just about the time they thought they had the stakes in good and solid, the wind would blow a little harder, and up would go their tents. By the time they got their tents up again, their things were soaked through. But after we got everything fixed up good and we wormed our way into our tents, we slept like bugs in a rug. I didn't wake up once from 9 at night until 5:30 in the morning. We can't kick about the weather this morning. It sure is fine. So I'll have to close now and go in swimming. Love to all, Walter.